Hello, everyone. We're just making last minute coffee, which it seems.
It wouldn't be a Facebook Live if we weren't making coffee in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm. You're off to a blazing start. Everyone's like, cool. We're out already, bored. Happy Friday. It's Friday, everyone. It's going to be a good day. Also because this is my second cup of coffee. And for those of you that will be like, oh, isn't she pregnant? She shouldn't be drinking coffee. Turns out a happy mama is better than an unhappy mama. So bring on the coffee, I guess. I don't know. Plus, it's my third baby. If she's addicted to caffeine just a little bit.
Hello, Norway.
Then.
Norway. Amazing.
Wow. New York. What's the weather like up there right now? Terrible, freezing, snowy?
It just got cold in Nashville last night.
Finally. Yeah, it's in the 30s now. Which for here that's pretty cold.
We're getting a request to say a big hello to Dean. You wanted to say a big hello, or do you want me to say it? So we'll do it together.
Gosh.
1, 2, 3. Hello, Dean! That was a big hello. You don't actually say big in the big hello. You just say it big.
I think we should say a big hello since that's what he asked for.
But big is a descriptive term.
But that wasn't really.
Anyway.
It wasn't really made obvious.
Got some New
A
Yorkers.
big hello to Dean Young. People are still trickling in here. That's why we're giving it just a couple minutes here before we really dive into the good stuff. But happy 2020, you guys. It's a new year. It's a new decade. There's a lot of exciting things that are coming into our lives in this next year. Probably a lot of exciting things coming into your guys' lives. And I mean, I know this isn't like a back and forth thing necessarily, but we can see your guys' questions and comments. So let us know what big things you guys have planned for this year as well, because I think it's good to push each other and to have ideas. We have, hello, brother. Oh, that was weird and trippy.
I love that.
Oh my gosh. We have, my brother has graciously offered to watch our boys today so that we could hop on here in peace and not have little children running around everywhere. So
'tis true.
That was very nice of him. Wow, shout out from the Philippines. You guys are, I wonder what time it is there.
Whoa, Midland, Texas.
That's definitely the other side of the world. Just kidding. So yeah, I guess with that being said, Happy New Year, Happy 2020. And we won't waste a lot of your time here since you guys are hopping on, probably a lot of you on your lunch hour. And we want to get to the good stuff.
Kelsey has a baby inside of her.
That's true.
So how's that going?
The last time that you guys, what's funny is the last time that we did a live stream, you guys asked us if we were open to having more babies. Did we want a girl? All these things. And what it was, well, I think it was in July when we did the last live stream. And little did we know that like 3 weeks later we would get pregnant with our third, and that it would also be a girl. So we're really excited about that. It's a new endeavor for sure. We have 2 boys, 3 and 1.5. And a girl is just going to come in and shake everything up. So we're excited about that. I'm 24 weeks, which means I'm past the halfway mark, and it goes pretty quick from here.
That is crazy. It's gone really fast.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's probably been.
It hasn't gone fast for me. It's gone fast for Caleb.
I was so relieved that we're having a girl because, I mean, obviously we love our boys.
Relieved is a very strong
but
word.
A third boy would just be.
It would be wonderful.
It would be awesome, but there would still be this little piece of me that would want to try for a girl. And then if we get pregnant for a 4th time and it's also a boy, then we have 4 boys. And that's just
it's a lot of
crazy.
Testosterone in one place. So, but it would have been wonderful too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the last live stream we were a family of 4, and this live stream we're already a family of 5, even though she's living inside of my tummy for a few more months. So we're excited about that. You guys asked for a baby update, so that was pretty much it. But if you weren't kind of around for the first half of this pregnancy, then you may not know that it's been like a pretty tumultuous experience this third time around. I had some pretty scary bleeding at the very beginning, and we actually thought we were having a miscarriage. It was really terrifying, and they ended up diagnosing me with something called a subchorionic hemorrhage, which is basically an internal bleed inside your uterus, and it can be very dangerous depending on the size of it, and then it can cause no problems at all. Mine, because it was so large, they were very, very worried. My sonographer told me that she didn't tell me this till much later, until we were on really the other side of this big hurdle with this pregnancy. But she told me later that this baby girl really had a 50-50 shot at staying in. And if I had known that at the time, I would have been an absolute wreck. Sorry, Caleb is making more coffee. So
sorry, everyone.
That's what you're hearing. But with that being said, the beginning of this pregnancy got off to a rough start. It was very scary. For about 7 weeks, I had bleeding off and on and did not know if she would stay in there. And turns out she's already a little fighter, and she did. And I have not had any bleeding for several weeks, and my bleed is actually completely resolved now. And now we just pray that since I have had that bleed, it kind of ups my risk for preterm labor, meaning the baby could come too early. And so at this point, we're just praying that she wants to stay in for the whole time, and that she wants to come at a really good, healthy time. So if you guys think about it, just pray she stays in there till she's due. That would be awesome. And that's really all the baby updates I feel like you need to know. Yeah. Third one on the way. We're going to be outnumbered.
I was going to make the joke where we're switching from man defense to zone, but.
What is that, like a basketball reference?
Yeah. But it would make me sound like a really old dad. And
did I get the sport
doing a little
right?
too much of that lately, apparently. What?
Did I get the sport right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it applies to a lot of sports, but.
So if I had said football, that would have worked too?
Yep.
Wow. It's nice when you throw me like a very vague ball reference so that I can, anyway. There were a couple other questions that came in last night that we thought we would start with first because they were really good questions, and they were kind of just like, let's go deep fast. And then all of you guys who are asking right now the questions, we'll try to scroll up and hit a lot of those as we go as well. But do you want to just start with this list that we got from last night, or do you want to talk about 2020 real quick, like in a nutshell?
Let's do it. So we can't be too specific because we're still ironing out some details, but we're doing a new project for Easter that we're really excited about. We can't say too much about it yet, but we're partnering with some people on it and doing some writing, and we're really
partnering with people on the Easter project.
Yes.
This is very exciting news for me.
Oh my gosh. Just shoot me a text and I'll explain it sometime. We're excited about that. And then we are doing, what else are we doing? We're doing, still working on an all original album that I'm very excited about. Those projects just take a lot longer to make than covering songs and making medleys and stuff because you have to write good songs. So.
I don't. He does.
Try.
Speaking of writing, though, a lot of you have mentioned in passing, I don't know if this is because you have a sixth sense or because I've given some kind of clue. I don't know why. But a lot of you have asked me if I would ever be open to writing a book or writing anything, I guess, for that matter. And if you've kind of been around for a while and you've known about Caleb and I and kind of followed our lives for the last few years, then you would know I really, really enjoy writing. It's always been a passion of mine, not songs, but like actual just writing. The written word, if you will. So something I have not talked actually at all about on social media or on any platforms to this point in time. There are some exciting developments. That's the exact word I was looking for. In that realm for me that are coming up this year. It's actually been about almost an entire year in the making already when these conversations first started. So yes, there will be a lot of writing on my part coming your way in the future, and things that I'm like mega excited and mega freaked out about sharing with you guys. But I told Caleb a couple months ago when we sat down and talked about this very thing that I never felt more strongly that I'm supposed to do something before. Do you remember that conversation in the living room? I don't know exactly what's going to happen with this project, but I know that it's going to happen, and I'm going to be writing a lot. So, and sharing a lot of parts of my heart with you guys that I have not shared up to this point. And I'm a pretty open book. You guys know that, but it'll be continued to be opened in this next year or so. So there will be, I'm sorry, this is so annoyingly vague, but I'm only allowed to say so much at this point, but just stay tuned, because I will be sharing a lot more of my heart on paper with you guys in 2020. So I'm excited about it. I'm scared about it. But I'm a 7 on the Enneagram. So I've always been under the belief system that if it freaks you out, you should probably do it. So I'm going to do it.
Speaking of doing something that freaks you out, I released a solo song today. And it's weird.
It's really good, y'all.
Oh.
He doesn't even need me.
That's not true.
Are you going to fire me?
No. No, here's what happened. She was like, hey, I'm going to be writing more this year. And I was like, oh.
And I'm also going to be making another baby this year.
Well, there's that. So I was like, this is probably a good time to do this thing that I've been wanting to do for like 15 years. So I'm scared, but it is what it is. The music's out. It's coming out every Friday. A new song that I just love. I'm just picking all my favorite songs and recording them. And I hope you like it.
Yeah. See?
But
lots
you can check it out. There's a new video out for it. There'll be videos for all the music. And thank you all so much for those of you that have already supported and shared and liked and commented. I really appreciate it. You guys are the best.
So 2 more items before we dive into these questions. There's one more thing coming out in 2020. We don't have a firm date yet, but we want to go ahead and put it out in the universe so that you guys know it's happening and that we're serious about it. Caleb and I will be launching our very first podcast this year.
Oh, now we have to do it. You just told the world about it.
We're doing it.
All right.
We're doing it.
We're doing it.
This is something I have been so freaking excited about for like probably a whole year. Like podcasts, I don't know. I don't have a lot of time, like extra time, to just like sit around and read or listen to things or.
Because of all the offspring.
The offspring, yeah. So, but this podcast is going to be a lot of what you guys have seen in our, we've put out some videos talking about like just our family life and our marriage and difficult things that we've walked through together. And on the live stream, a lot of the same things. This is just kind of a really, really real sneak peek into just our lives as human beings, as moms, as dads, artists and friends, and just all the things. And so this podcast is going to be a lot more of that kind of thing. It'll be very real. It'll be very vulnerable and raw. And hopefully we will have a lot of guests who pop on and talk about just the real stuff in life that I feel like needs more conversation and more openness. So there's a lot of things about this podcast that get me like super hyped. So that's coming. And I don't think it'll be probably a matter of months before you hear anything official about that. But it's on our radar. I wanted to put it on y'all's radar and let you know that it's coming. Last thing, and then we're going to dive into questions. Do you want to talk about subscription on Facebook? Subscriptions?
Other than those of you who have already subscribed to our Caleb and Kelsey fam Facebook group, thank you so much. We hope you've enjoyed the extra additional content, and If you haven't subscribed, we'd love you to check it out. There'll be all kinds of fun things coming.
It's just like a lot of exclusive, it's videos, it's pictures, it's information that we're giving to that small group of people first, just because they're kind of the ones that do life most closely alongside us. So if that interests you guys at all, if you want like the inside scoop of what's going on in your life, then hop on Facebook, hit that subscribe button, and we'll add you to the family. So it's been a really cool element to like our job. It seems weird to call that part of it our job, because it's really just, hey, here's exactly what we're doing today, whether it's like really pretty or really not, and most times it's really not. So again, if that piques your interest, then hop on there and join that family. We'd love to have you be a part of it.
Yes. Kelsey.
Caleb.
Did you make any New Year's resolutions this year?
Oh, okay. Okay, so you guys can hate me, you can judge me, I don't really care. I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. I hate them. I've always hated them.
Why?
Because I think they're stupid. And I'll say, I will. And I'll say this to those of you that have set goals and who have set New Year's resolutions for yourself, I'm not calling you stupid. And in fact, I think it's really great that you are trying to make changes and trying to implement new, healthy, just lifestyle changes, whatever that looks like for you. But for me, I have never been a person that can stick to a rigid plan. I am a 7 on the Enneagram. I'll probably say that like 10 more times in this live stream, because I think if you're familiar with the Enneagram, you all of a sudden understand me on like a much deeper level. And commitment like that freaks me out. So I don't like to start something that I feel like I will fail if I slip off the track for like a step. You know what I mean? So for me, it's all about creating like, how to describe it? Like in my brain, I definitely have goals that, okay, I'd like to do this better this year, or I would like to be more of this year, or create more pockets of time for this year, that kind of thing. But they're not like, they're not going to be rigid plans for me, because I don't live my life like that. I have to have, for me, if I don't create space for spontaneity, even as a mother, which that is like super hard to come by, I go insane. So I have to have, I just have to have room for spice. And New Year's resolutions make me feel caged and like,
and that's an Enneagram 7 thing, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't want to feel constricted.
Boxed in. Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you generally are a balanced person, and you make good,
I fight for balance.
You make good decisions.
I do. I fight for balance more now. The older I get, the more I implement elements of balance. I think in my younger years, I was way less about that, but it becomes more and more important, especially if you have children, to create structure and routine for your family. And I think everybody thrives better on routine and structure. So, but yeah, I again, not to say I don't think having goals, creating new goals is like an amazing thing. I just hate the beginning of the year seeing people construct these really like intense plans for resolution and changing your entire life, and then like 3 weeks into it, everybody's like, it didn't work, and oh, now I'm a failure at the beginning of the year. So to heck with the whole thing. I just hate that. I think it sucks. It makes people feel, I don't know,
defeated.
Yeah, defeated early on, and I'm not about that. So making small changes here or there, totally great. Like I think that's great. I think it's sustainable. But anything outside of that, it doesn't work for me. So
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
I tend to agree. It's funny when we're so different when it comes to like eating and like dietary plans and stuff. She is so good at being balanced, and I need like rigid rules. Mm-hmm. Like to me, if I have a burger and fries for lunch, then I'm going to have pizza for dinner because the day is already like done. But for her, she's like, well, if I had a burger for lunch, then I'm going to eat a salad for dinner because that's the responsible, balanced thing to do with my life, which is the way better way to live. but I
Some
just
people are
psychologically I can't
extremists.
get over that hurdle.
And yeah, about different things, so it's totally fine.
What
Okay,
else?
let's dive into some of these questions.
Are you going to do more country music covers? So we released our Country Love Songs album 1 year ago this month.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's crazy that was only a year ago. It was like that's such an old album.
Yeah, it really does. Plus, I was very pregnant with Beckett when we shot all of those videos.
Why
So
are you always
here I am,
pregnant?
pregnant again.
Yeah. We should do more of those.
Yeah.
I've always been accused of having twang, like in the studio. Occasionally, my producer will be like, "Can dial back it's a little country. That little run was a little," which is probably because I grew up listening to a lot of Rascal Flatts and stuff. And she grew up like big Carrie Underwood fan. Who else? Shania, a bunch of country artists, and she has a little bit of that as well. So the country project just made a lot of sense. So I think that we will continue to do that. Plus, we live in Nashville, so it feels right.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure that we'll do some more of those. Maybe volume 2 is on the horizon.
Maybe.
Or maybe breakup songs.
Country breakup songs.
There's more of those.
About tractors and beer. Let's see. Heather G from Instagram asked, "What is your favorite mashup that you guys have ever done?" I'd probably have to think about that for a second. But
that's a good question.
Yeah, that is a good question.
I think musically, the way it flows, probably 10,000 Reasons, beautiful name.
Yeah, that was like the
it just felt good.
Second one we ever did.
Yeah, it just felt really, really good.
Yeah. I liked that one too. But I also liked Jesus.
Ever Be Tremble?
Ever Be. I love the song Ever Be. So we probably could have mashed that up with anything and it probably would have like been really close to the top of my list of favorites. So Ever Be and Tremble, I love that one too.
I really like that Rascal Flatts one we did. Hurts the Most.
That was my idea.
That was your idea.
That was killer.
So is Oceans and
You Make Me Brave.
That one. Okay, so every time we do a live show, Kelsey preps Oceans, You Make Me Brave, right? And you always, without fail,
every
forget
time
the name of it.
I'm like,
you're like, Oceans, what a beautiful name.
Caleb's always like, no, that's not the song. That's
like,
not
we could do that mashup, but it doesn't exist currently.
No, it doesn't. I don't know why I have such a difficult time with that title, but I do.
What's the hardest thing y'all have been through?
She ain't playing. Lindsay N from Instagram. You know, in 5, almost and a half now, short years of marriage, Caleb and I have been through a lot. I mean, like, maybe more than most in 5 years of marriage, and a lot of good, but also a lot of really, really hard and really, really dark. I was probably the most vulnerable I've ever been on social media in a post that I wrote about our 5th anniversary, which was back in July. And I shared with you guys that up to this point, you know, marriage has been anything but easy for us. We have had to work and work and work some more for it. And being on the other side of what we've been through so far, and the reason I say it that way is because I know that we will walk through the fire again at some point, and be stronger for it. That's what I'm getting at. We are stronger now for those seasons that we went through. And they were bad. I mean, really, really bad. The worst thing we've ever been through was probably, I can think of 2 different marital, what's the word I'm looking for? Devastations.
Yeah.
That we've walked through, 2 different, and both of them took about a year to find like deep, true healing. So, I mean, if you do the math, that's 2 out of the 5 years so far that were spent in a rebuilding process. And for me, I mean, that was one of the hardest things I've ever been through, especially the second time around. I was pregnant with Beckett, and things were touch and go for a while. I didn't know if Caleb and I were going to find the other side of what we were dealing with, and how it would affect our family. We had another baby on the way, and how are we going to navigate keeping our marriage alive and also bringing a new human into the mix, and were we even going to be together by the time Beckett came into the world? And I think at the end of the day, we both had to make a conscious decision. It wasn't just like well, we made it work. I don't know, we got through it. It wasn't like that. It was an intentional, okay, we're going to choose. Like, I'm in it for the long haul. You're in it for the long haul. We're going to figure this out, no matter what it takes. Because at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want to be a family that stays together. We don't want to run when it gets hard. And as a 7, that's my number one coping mechanism. It's just when I get freaked out and scared and pushed into a corner, my instinct is to want to put on my running shoes and pack my bags and peace out. And marriage teaches me every day that I don't get to do that. I don't get to run when things get hard. I have to plant my feet in the ground and figure it out. So personally, I think that those 2 points of our marriage, that's been easily one of the most difficult things I've been through. And then, of course, back in college, I went through a really horrific abusive relationship. Some of you probably know about that. I've written a little bit here and there about that. And it was really, really hard to get out of. And then when I did, there was a lot of aftermath that followed that season. A lot of terrible decisions that I made because I was so broken at the time. I experimented with a lot of things that I shouldn't have. I found alcohol, and I made that a coping mechanism. I drank all the time. I partied all the time to try to numb this deep, gaping hole that was in my heart that I couldn't seem to fill with enough of a good time. And so eventually I hit the bottom and found counseling and found healing, and right somewhere in the middle of that met Caleb. And, you know, ever since that point, it's just been a lot of, just still tune-ups and work and trying to, things resurface every now and again, and you got to fight for it. You got to fight for what is worth fighting for. And I think marriage 100% is. Not to say if you're in an abusive relationship, you should stay. I do not think that you should stay. I think that you should get out. And get help with that, by the way, because getting help is the best thing I've ever done for myself. We're not meant to do life alone. We're not meant to, we're not meant to fight things under the table in a dark room. We're meant to fight things with community and people who love you enough to say, I'm going to hold your hand through this when it gets ugly. So, I don't know if you want to add to that.
Yeah. Well, with marriage, it's like we're all sums of our own experiences. Nobody's experiences are the same, and we all pick up and develop different survival techniques and coping mechanisms. And if you're being honest with yourself and you come to a place where you have to face those, it inevitably hurts the people that you're closest to, if you're being honest. And so you can hide those things or suppress them, but they're going to come out sideways one way or the other. So the irony is it sometimes takes another person being right up in your face and doing life with them every day to point out some of those things that you didn't even know existed.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of like the twisted beauty about marriage, is like it's so intimate,
Mm-hmm.
which is beautiful, but also it gets ugly because it's so intimate. But it's worth it. And we fought hard, and at the end of the day, we made a promise,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
And like you said, if you're in an abusive relationship, we don't condone staying or anything like that. But if not, if it's just working through it, like we just ultimately believe like we made a vow and we want to keep that if at all possible.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to do whatever it takes. And it takes a community.
Mm-hmm.
I thank God for your parents being in our lives, that they've been such mentors and just kind of walked us through so many things. And
We've been a safe place for
our
sure.
church has been a safe place in a lot of ways. Counseling and therapy has saved our lives. I mean, man,
it takes a village.
Taking any of those components out of the equation, it doesn't seem like it works. And maybe that's just been our journey. I don't know if that's the case for everybody, but it seemed like it is, because it's life is too hard without without all those pieces. So,
and a note on that too, we got asked at the last live stream about, this is like a lot of questions rolled into one, but like counseling and help, you know, medication, anxiety, let's say anxiety, depression, all of these kind of taboo subjects that, and I say taboo meaning like in the conservative Christian circles that sometimes we find ourselves running in a lot because of what we do. Caleb and I do not shy away from talking about those things. So, you know, anxiety and depression, it's a very real thing. And never will you ever hear us say that if you were walking closer to the Lord, or if your relationship with Jesus was stronger, that you wouldn't face those things. I do not believe that that is true. I believe that those are lies. Mm-hmm. And I believe that God has given us doctors in modern medicine for a reason. And I think that in some situations, medication is a great tool to help level people out. And I don't think there is any shame that should surround that decision. I think that that's so responsible and so admirable if you find yourself taking that step to get some help, because I think it's super brave to be honest enough to say, well, this isn't working, so let me find something that will work. Let me find something that is going to make me better. You know, find a community of people who will support you, and no matter what that looks like. And Caleb and I, again, we condone counseling and therapy. Like, we're such advocates for that. There is just no shame.
It's like saying we condone medical doctors.
Like, right.
If you're sick, you need to go to the doctor. And so sometimes you're emotionally sick. Sometimes you're psychologically sick. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're healthy, but it's still good to go in and just
get a checkup.
And even when you're healthy, you eat right, you take supplements, and you drink
Stay
water.
on top of it.
It's no different than the physical aspect. And we should just say we're not medical professionals. We're not psychologists. We have no credentials. This is purely anecdotally speaking. So don't take our words from any kind of professional standpoint. But this is just us speaking from our experience.
This is a good question.
Makes a world
to piggyback
of
on this exact topic. It's for Caleb. Were you ever hesitant to do counseling? How would you encourage your husband to go if he's hesitant about it? It's weird. I feel like I hear this question a lot.
Yeah, and I guess
there's some kind of stigma that men, I mean, I don't want to make a blanket statement, but it does seem like men tend to be more hesitant about going to marital counseling than women do. I wonder what that is.
I don't know if it makes, I guess it's vulnerable. Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's hard. So that's a big piece of it. And I think it just generally is more difficult for men to be vulnerable than women. I mean, it's broad sweeping and reductive, but it's hard. And I think that sometimes makes you feel like you're weak if you admit that you have problems and that you have issues, but it's actually the opposite is true. I think it takes a lot bigger man to admit that you have issues.
Yeah.
And I guess I look at it this way. Ultimately, if you have, let's say you have diabetes, you have to get help with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a literal problem with your body. You can't pray it away. You can't just be stronger or think it away or read a book. Like, you have to go get some help.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, emotional damage and psychological trauma and all of those things, it's the same. Like, you have to go get professional help and medication if necessary. And I don't know how we got off on this tangent, but
I just think it's important to talk about it because I don't think enough people that have the platform and the voice that we've been given talk enough about it. And it's such a, like I said, it's such a taboo subject. There's, when you're a Christian, I've literally heard pastors say from stage, if you struggle with depression or anxiety, then your relationship with God isn't strong enough. And I just think that is so damaging to say to people, because I think that it goes so much deeper than that. I think that you can have a really incredible relationship with the Lord and walk very closely with Him and still struggle with anxiety and depression. And hearing a message from stage like that is shaming and makes you feel like there's something wrong with you. Or there's, you're not pursuing the divine the way that you should, or you wouldn't have these issues. I just think that that's a lie. And so I just want you guys to hear it from us, and we'll post this on the internet. You can reference this video 100,000 times if you want. I want to say it loud and clear. Caleb and I do not believe that. We are advocates of being healthy, no matter what means it takes to get there. I think it's important to talk about that stuff. Okay, and I guess with that being said, we can move on now. So there was one other question that someone sent in from last night. Madeline R. from Instagram, where did y'all meet? We met at a Halloween party, actually.
A Halloween party that happened on October 24th.
So a week before Halloween.
And I didn't come in costume, and everybody gave me a hard time, and I was indignant because it's the 24th. And who has their costume a week ahead of time? Not this guy.
So, you did.
Anyways.
But yeah, we met through a mutual friend, and I was seeing someone else at the time loosely, and didn't know that Caleb was flirting because he's a 5 on the Enneagram and he's not very expressive with the way that he communicates. So for months and months, actually we've looked back at this so many times and we've laughed because he's like, I felt like I was being so forward and flirting with you. And then hearing now, I was like, that was flirting? Like, okay. I don't know. It must have worked. Something worked out for him.
Which has been telling throughout our marriage, because I feel like, and just in general, our barometer for demonstrating emotion is just like
expression.
I can feel like I'm gushing, but
I'm like, do you feel anything?
Or like even on camera,
there's nothing happening on your face.
I'll feel like I was so just emoting and like so in the moment, and then like I'll see it played back and be like, I just look like stone cold. I'm like, that's weird. I don't look how I felt.
I'm the actual opposite of that.
Yeah.
I have to like tone it down sometimes. But nobody can brighten my shine, Caleb.
Do you have any questions? That's true.
All right, we're gonna start hitting some of these questions that you guys are sending in right now. I think you can scroll up, but you have to be quick because if another one comes in, then it scrolls to the bottom.
Oh wow, yeah, we're way behind here.
Oh, maybe not. Someone just asked how old we are. I just turned 30, you guys. I just turned 30 years old.
I'm 53. I'm just kidding.
The bags under our eyes might suggest that we are 53 at this point, but just because we have small children, we're very tired.
You're not wrong.
Well. Sorry, we're just trying to scroll through some of these comments and questions.
So many people are sharing about their mental health experiences.
I love that.
Is blonde your natural color? Let's lighten it up.
Let's lighten
No pun intended.
I actually, it would be really hard to know at this point what color my natural hair actually is. I've been so many different hair colors. It's probably brown.
It is hard to keep up. Although I feel like it's leveled out with kids.
A little bit.
When we were dating in like the first year or two of marriage, it was like every 10 minutes your hair was changing.
Yeah, it was. When Caleb met me, I had like deep, dark red hair.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like about 6 different shades of orange when I tried to come out of that. So I had, orange hair for a long time. And then I was blonde, and then it was white. Like, I'm talking like Santa Claus white for a season. And then I got pregnant, and they were like, yeah, you can't bleach your hair like that every few weeks because it's bad for the baby. So now I have this hybrid of colors.
And I know what you guys are wondering. This is my natural color.
That is Caleb's natural color in all of its glory. Okay, I'm going to scroll through some of these. Sing something for us.
No. That's not going to happen.
Oh, Kelsey, what are you on the Enneagram? My husband is a 5 as well, and she's a 2. I wonder how that, do you guys get along?
I love 2s, by the way.
Caleb loves 2s.
2s are my favorite.
I think you should have married a 2.
No offense.
Yeah, most people like 2s the most.
They're just so darn helpful.
They are helpful. They're very selfless.
They're just good people to have around.
And I'm a 7 wing 8, so we fight a lot.
So what was the question?
She wanted to know what I was on the Enneagram.
Oh.
I'm a 7 wing 8, which means that it basically means that I want to be where the fun is, like 100% of the time, and also I'll confront you if I need to.
Yeah.
That's like the 8 wing in me.
What's funny is I'm
German.
a 5, and 5s in health go to 8, and in unhealth we go to 7. So,
And 7s in health go to 5.
We have this weird
we're ships passing in the night. We don't understand each other at all.
And yet we do.
And yet we do. Oh, someone asked, are you planning on having any more kids after this? It's an interesting question.
She's pregnant. We just
I'm going to have this one since it's already happening to us. I don't know, man. I think before this pregnancy and all of the complications that I've experienced in it, I would have said 100% yes. We will have probably a 4th, perhaps a 5th. I will not go beyond 5. But I don't know. This pregnancy has been really, really hard on me. And I think we're just going to wait and see if when baby girl gets here, how we feel. I've heard a lot of people say that when they have a baby, sometimes they just sense, okay, this is our family. We're all here. And I'm kind of just going to wait and see if that happens for us. I don't know.
I don't think that will.
I don't know.
For us.
It might not.
Because of all the FOMO.
I have a lot of FOMO.
I feel like you'll always be like, what if we had another one? What if there's another baby that we're supposed to have that we don't have already?
You know, there's a part of me that wonders if I'm ever going to feel that okay, we're done.
It's going to take a doctor to be like, Kelsey, you can't have any more babies.
You can't have any more babies. Oh, yeah. So I don't know. Maybe ask me after this baby's in the world. Any tours? That's an interesting question.
It is an interesting question.
No.
Why isn't it?
We don't. That's the short answer.
Here's the thing about touring.
Question that we'll answer for you.
We
don't.
So we've actually talked about Christmas tour though.
Yeah. So this actually really excites me, this idea. It's way down the road. Obviously, we just celebrated Christmas. So this would be this coming December 2020. We have talked about a possible Christmas touring situation that would be like a few weeks long. I don't know. We honestly have no idea what it would look like, but it would look like Caleb and I singing in different cities. in some capacity.
You know, our videos,
that's
it would
like-
just be that on a stage.
Since that's like what a tour is.
Lot.
So,
Yeah.
Are we doing one? Not for sure. Might we?
Perhaps.
Perhaps. And there is the vaguest answer you've ever gotten on a question.
Absolutely, maybe.
Any baby name ideas? Yes, we have a name for this baby girl.
Ripley.
That Caleb. Oh my gosh, I thought you were actually gonna like say the name.
No,
it's not Ripley. Oh
do you
my
like
gosh.
Ripley? I just thought of that. I think
Like Ripley's Believe It or Not?
Yeah.
No. I'm sorry. If any of you have named
Well, you
your
think
child
she's going to be
Ripley.
born a freak show if we name her Ripley?
No, but you're not giving her great odds by naming her that.
Fair enough.
We do have a name, but Caleb and I tend to keep our baby names concealed until baby's in the world because you never know. Like she could come out and we could be like, this isn't her name. We have to start over.
Mm-hmm.
So we have
can
one.
share the middle name.
Let's not.
Okay.
I want to save it.
It's Ripley. Just kidding.
Why are you
Apparently it's not Ripley.
It's not.
She never lets me
Ah!
weigh in.
Where are the kids now? They're taking a nap upstairs. We planned this very well.
Have you ever been to Nashville, Tennessee? Interesting that you ask.
Not to make fun of you. I'm genuinely, like, that's just funny. We live here in Nashville,
If
Tennessee.
you would like to see what Nashville is. No, we actually are in a suburb.
Actually, that was just a set of paper
I just
towels
blocked the
that Caleb
camera.
just
It was
showed.
completely useless.
Okay. Let's see. Who's the most fun person in the family?
I'm just kidding. It's obviously you.
I mean, I wasn't going to say
Oh,
it's
Emmett can
probably
be fun
Emmett when he's not throwing a tantrum. We're in the terrible threes right now.
Emmett's like
Or is it
40%
the
fun
treacherous
and
three?
60% mean. God bless him.
Oh my gosh, God bless him. Bless any of the parents out there who have 3-year-olds. We're all in this together. We're all in this together. Chocolate or vanilla? Vanilla for me. 10 out of 10 times.
Chocolate.
I'm like the weirdo that doesn't like chocolate cake. I really seriously don't like chocolate cake at all. I would rather not eat the cake if it's chocolate. Although these days, you know, growing human, I'd probably eat the cake. I wouldn't love it, but I'd totally eat it.
Let's keep that. We're a little behind here.
Oh, sorry.
What do you guys enjoy doing on free time? Assuming that means in free time. So I kind of.
I don't know what free time means. I don't.
Yeah, here's the thing about free
That
time is it
exists in
doesn't
my world.
exist unless you make it exist.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. Send tips.
But I have
tricks.
to make it exist because I need free time. So I like weave through hobbies. Lately I've been on a huge movie tangent.
I like to read People magazine in the bathtub.
That's true. She likes to read about all the people in the movies. I don't care about their real lives. I like the actual stories.
I care about their
that
real
they
lives.
make.
I want to know who's friends with who and who's got drama and who's. Ooh, this will be a good thing for you guys to judge me on. I like to watch The Bachelor. So
Oh.
eat your heart out.
And with that, we're going to go ahead and end the first question.
I do. I love it. I love it. I'm sorry, all of you that will be like, oh my gosh, it's such a trashy show, and I can't believe you would watch that. I will live for it. So.
But you would acknowledge that that's true.
Oh, it is true, and I'm still gonna watch it. I can't wait to see the comments that come in.
We all have our thing.
We all got our thing, man. Who's clingy between you two? Me. I don't like to be alone very
neither
much.
of us are clean, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't use the word clingy, but like if
You just
I just would rather be with him than not.
and see, I wouldn't rather be with her than. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
You would always rather be alone.
No, but
than
it's the
with me.
Enneagram thing. She's a
Why
7.
do
She always
fives get
wants to
married,
have
by the
fun
way?
and be together.
I don't understand that.
And 5 is just, they want to be in a dark hole somewhere.
Alone with no other human beings.
Okay.
Someone said, "Do your girls sing with you both?" We have boys, so
And no, they don't.
they don't. Well, they do sing "Twinkle Twinkle,"
But
Little
not
Star.
with us.
That's true.
Okay. In fact, if we start singing, they tell us to stop.
That's also true. Her kids hate our voices or something. Our music.
And anytime we play a song that has a guy and a girl singing, they're like, "Daddy, Mama."
Yeah, they do.
Not every duet is us, but okay, it's cute.
Travel or stay at home?
Home.
Before kids, I would have said travel. After kids, I want to stay home because I don't like to be away from them like ever, for real. Like I hate being away from my kids. Do you make time for date nights?
Yeah. Got to.
We do, but it has been hard the last several months. We've been less good about it. It used to be Friday night, date night. Like no questions asked.
Hey,
Today's Friday. We have date night tonight and no plans.
Hey,
so.
Chad, what are you doing tonight? You want to watch the kids?
It's actually been pretty hard to find childcare on Friday nights for real. So date nights are a little bit.
Maybe we should move it to a night when other people are on visit.
Tuesday night, date night. It doesn't have the same ring. I'm fine with it.
It's too bad there's not a day that starts with D.
Yeah.
Like Dadder Day.
Dadder Day. Woo! Who's a better cook? Definitely me.
It's true.
Not to like toot my own horn, but definitely me.
I feel like I could be good at cooking, but it's the prep and the cleanup. It's like, we're doing takeout.
Yeah, Caleb would always rather order a pizza. In these days, I mean, yeah, I'm fine with that.
It's true.
So I don't know. You guys, how old are your boys? We have our oldest that just turned 3, and then our youngest is 1.5, and then we've got another one. Actually, he's 1.5 tomorrow. So.
Any pets? No. We had a dog, and we gave her away.
To my grandmother, who lives just down the street, by the way. So we didn't just like ship her off to someone unknown. But I can't do.
That's what we told Kelsey.
Oh my gosh.
He's going.
No, she actually.
She went to a farm. She's much happier.
Oh my gosh. Dogs or cats or both? If I had to choose, dogs for sure.
Everybody hates cats. Why is that?
Well, I think it's just their attitude. Cats have an attitude.
Cats are 5s. They don't need you.
They don't
just, like,
need
leave me
you.
alone.
Okay, what's your favorite pizza? Cheese pizza. I'm so boring when it comes to pizza. I just want the sauce to be right, which don't get me started on pizza sauce, and I want lots of cheese. That's it. I don't want pepperoni or anything else on it.
I like cheese pizza, sometimes pepperoni, but either way, extra cheese.
Yeah, extra cheese. Kelsey, flat iron curls or curling iron curls? So I've always used a curling iron my whole life, but just a few months ago, I was introduced to a wand, and I've been using that for a couple months. And the first, probably 4 times that I used it, all I did was burn myself. Like, seriously, I just burned my fingers. But now I feel like I'm pretty quick, and I can, I get the job done if I have to do my hair, which I don't like to do my hair, but here we are.
Well, babe, I think everyone needs to get back to work.
Yeah, you guys, it's been such a joy to hop on here and just chat with you and get to share a little bit of a deeper piece of who we are with you guys and what's important to us. So thank you for giving us the opportunity and the chance to do that. I live for those kind of things where we can go deep and talk about the stuff that really matters. So
yeah.
Thank you for spending your lunch break or whatever, the last however long it's been, hour with us. We appreciate it. We love you guys so much. We probably don't even say it enough how much we value your support and you guys just loving on us as a family, as people. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without you. And we do not take that for granted. We don't take it lightly. And we just want to thank you so much for that. So
I agree. Well said. Thank you for supporting Caleb and Kelsey. Thank you for supporting my band. Thank you for supporting my new song and just all the love you show online. You're the best.
And hey, here's to 2020, the best year of our lives yet. Not just us, like
cheers.
Us collectively. Yeah, cheers. Insert eye roll here. That is not a fitting mug for this moment. Oh my gosh. Okay, Caleb, let's go. Okay, we love you guys so much.
Okay, thanks. Bye. Love you. Mean it.
End live video right here.
Okay.
Oh my